wrap up on the Valiant radio, and another look at the Blackweb dash cam in a different resolution. Good evening, YouTube. Here with you at 7:48 in the evening on a Saturday evening. Back here with the Valiant radio. I have a couple of things I'm going to do to it. I don't know if you can even see that, but there's a shiny spot there where I hit some glue. I just put glue on that, and it is glued in now. And I want that to set up a little bit. It doesn't have to set a lot. This wire again broke off. I have my soldering iron heating up. It goes right here. It's broke off I don't know how many times now. I keep putting it back, but it just keeps breaking off. So anyway, that's that. I want to try to put this wire back over here where I soldered it back on that place there, and get these back down where they were supposed to be, out of the way, and get my little pointy stick. Maybe that'll help me get some things done here with it, like that. There we go. And put those out of the way, and that will allow the little cardboard holder for the battery to go in there, I think. Like I said, next step will be trying to find the screw for this. I don't know exactly what happened to it, but it was laying there on the desk, and I ended up putting all those screws that were laying out there in the screws drawer. So it's probably in that mess, and I'll have to find it. So there's no sense in you guys waiting for that to happen. So while the soldering iron is heating up, I'll take those out and look through those real quick and see if I can find it, and we'll be back in a jiffy. Alright, before I put this all back together, I'm going to try to go through and recap what I did. First thing was this connection here to the tuning capacitor was not complete. There was a space between these two places, but they were obviously supposed to be soldered together. So I cleaned that up and soldered that back, and that was one fix. And then of course I mentioned this last night, but I'll show you again. This fix right here where the shiny part is was another spot. Now this was two leads, component leads, coming through the same hole. One was bent this way, one was bent that way, and apparently they made contact for quite a while, I would say. And then through wear and tear over the years, they finally got loose enough to where they weren't making good contact anymore, and I subsequently soldered them, and they had never ever been soldered before. It didn't look like to me. I looked pretty close at it, and I don't think it was ever soldered. So that's the two fixes I did there. And like I said, I had replaced all of the capacitors. There's one here, and one over here, and the three capacitors have been replaced, and these two wires here have been come off, and I have fixed those twice now. This wire came off back here, and I fixed that. And of course we went over the one off the speaker wire that came off, and I fixed that. So that's basically all I have done to it, and I've come up with some screws to put this back together, and trying to find one now to fit back in here, so I'll have the other one for the dial knob, because I think it was the one that held the dial knob down. But I have another one I think will work, and I'm going to try that next. So let me try that, and we'll come right back. Alright, what you see in front of you is the finished product. It is all together now. Everything's back like it should be, and it is working. I'm not sure what station it is, but I know it's not the local one. Oh, I bet you that's 84. Now, the reason I was saying there might be some problems with it, it's up all the way. So, you know, I don't know. It's also got a problem. Doesn't want to tune sometimes all the way around.
Cernak, who is also having a very very good season. That's just to name a few. So Cuckoo,
I'm guessing that may be 700 WLW.
Contractual commitment beyond this season, but he managed to get in just 9 games with the Bulls this season. Perhaps.
Let me go on down a little bit more.
Attention NFL fans, starting at 8:45, the Cowboys-Rams game will move. Fox Sports Radio 670 The Score. Geico presents
670 The Score. That's what that is.
The left side in a game as Brett Seabrook cycles back in. He wants to expose these young guys, no matter the price to.
Still falling. 30 degrees at O'Hare and the lakefront. It's 31 at Midway. But it is windy out there as well. An east wind right now at 21 miles per hour. WVGA News Time 7:10.
WVBM, so it sounded like it is Chicago, obviously.
For the players, every game at Rupp Arena, no matter what kind of
Yep,
sport
that'd
you
be WHAS out of Louisville.
tools to keep it clean. Our mops. They're going to be right there amongst the teams that are looking at potentially being in Atlanta in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, we're about 4 minutes away from kickoff of our second divisional playoff game, which is tonight. It is Dallas in Los Angeles to take on the Rams. And I've seen some wide shots of the stadium here, Nick. It looks like there are more
I'm guessing that must be ESPN, probably out of Chicago.
fans. It's almost going to be like a home game. Amos Jones, all the other coaching staff. But it was the bond with the quarterback. Now, I don't know. We'll probably find out in details and drifts how much Baker Mayfield was involved. I've heard some rumors, but I haven't heard anything concrete. But I guess it doesn't matter how much we know or how much we don't know. That fact all in itself, the fact that we found a guy that the quarterback can get along with.
No shortage of sports talk on the AM radio.
Comeback of those white jerseys. Time to check with our analyst Kurt Warner and find out what he thinks each team needs to do.
Alright, well, I'm going to call that right there. That's pretty much it. The speaker's glued in, the chassis is screwed to the cabinet like it's supposed to be. It could use a little cleaning here, I think, around here. Wouldn't hurt any. But other than that, this thing is pretty much done. And I think it came out rather nice myself. I mean, it sounds good, it plays good. So, you know, what else can you ask out of an AM radio? I mean, that's pretty much it. So, thank you to Don again. I'm a junk collector for sending this along. And I have to admit, you know, this was a lucky find as far as the fixing that problem with that one connection, because I just happened to be playing around with the signal tracer, and I just, you know, was clicking different spots, and I noticed when I clicked that one, depended on where I put the probe, one end of the connection or the other, I would get signal, and one end wasn't, one end was. So, you know, it looked like a solid circuit, and closer inspection revealed that those two leads came through one hole and were not soldered. So that was a easy fix, and that pretty much fixed the whole radio. Of course, the other problem on the tuning condenser didn't help in it either, you know, so that was a loose connection. So, you know, I fixed a couple, 3 radios like this. The Panasonic that I fixed, the little AM Panasonic radio, was that way. It had 2 or 3 different places. They were fairly obvious, though. I mean, you could see those almost with a naked eye and see that there was some bad spots on it in their solder joints and things like that. But like I said, you know, that's one of the biggest parts of troubleshooting is visual inspection. And the better you can see on the whatever it is you're looking at, the better your results are going to be, obviously. And that's one of the reasons I wanted this extra light, and I use my magnification lamp. Those tools are pretty much indispensable for doing this kind of work, and so I can understand Bill's frustration not being able to see what he's looking at very good, and I understand that completely. And I think I would be equally frustrated if I could not see. So, you have the knowledge to fix something, and it's just, you're hindered by your sight. So, that's kind of a bummer. So, anywho, the Blackweb camera, I was going to play around with that again and see if I could. I've got it set now the way I want it. As far as the settings on it, and I also have my power bank charged up, and I had thought about maybe putting a sample of that in here. I may still do it. This is set on WVGA now, and it does do pretty good though, even hooked up way over here, so there's no sense in firing up that power brick if I don't really need to. So now it should be recording. Yes, it is. And it is on WVGA. I see that. I'll leave this one run too. So I'm just going to go ahead and sweep over the place like I did last time. And turn this back on. I had it off because I thought maybe that was causing interference on that radio, but it wasn't. And yeah, there goes the lights. Whoops, sorry. So now we can just sort of sweep around here on the bench, see what we're looking at. Try not to move too much. Seems to work pretty good, I think. So, like I said, I can't wait to get out in the car and give it a try. Now, it snowed last night. Anybody that doesn't know that, I'm here to tell you it did snow. I would say when I got up this morning, there was at least 6 inches on the ground. Maybe more, I don't know. I didn't go out and actually look. I was just judging by the car and the road and things like that. It was pretty nasty looking when I first got up, but it has cleared off now quite a bit, and it's raining out there, so that will pretty much do away with the snow, or at least a lot of it. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. But what I want to do is take the car to Advance Auto, and they have some stop leak up there I want to buy. I was going to get it at Walmart, and I think I told you the story. I forgot my debit card, so I didn't get to get it there. So I'll take a trip to Advance Auto, which is fairly close. I'll make sure the car is full of antifreeze before I leave, and it should be able to get there and back, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and put that stop leak in it and see if I can get the leak slow enough to where it's, if it's not bad enough to where I can maybe drive it for a few days before I have to add more antifreeze, it wouldn't be too bad. But if it's going to be one of these cases where I have to drive, say to get Kylie or something like that, and drive back home and then have to fill it back up again, that's too much. So I am in the market for another car, and that's going to be another deal. What I'm trying to do. I hear Bob. I believe it's Bob. Let me see if it is Bob. You guys watch the other camera watching whatever it's watching, and I'll see what the text is all about. So anyway, like I say, that's what's going on here. I don't want to belabor the point too much. I'll probably cut this down a little bit because it doesn't need to be this long. So again, I just wanted to. I did change the loop settings on this. Oops. No. Loop settings on it because it was set to loop every 1 minute, I think, and even that first video I took was 2 different videos. I just used one of them because there was no sense in going through the loop process. I don't like the looping thing. I turned it off, and I turned the date stamp off, things like that, because I don't need those and don't want them on. So if I was using this probably for its intended purpose, it might be different, but I'm not. So anywho, like I say, that's about it. That's going to wrap this up. I just wanted to kind of do a final wrap up on the radio. the Valiant radio, and I didn't mention this, but I think I'm going to be inserting some cuts for the to show where these places are, where the problem was, and as if I can on the schematic, and help you understand basically why we're not getting any signal through. So, and I did take a look at this last night, and just a cursory type glance. I didn't really look a lot at it, but you know, it's pretty self-explanatory when you hit the menu button, and you can see what it is. It's very much similar to the other one that I returned. And by the way, that they did get that back today at the place I bought it from, so I should be getting the refund on that in the next couple of days, they said, eBay. So we'll be watching for that. And that's about it. Like I say, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. It is now 8:24 in the evening, and like I said, I will try to cut some of this out and not have it so long. I don't really like to make long videos sometimes, and it just happens that way that I get to talking. I was watching Carl. I didn't get to see him live, but I did watch the upload or whatever of the live, and so he talked for quite a while, and he was mentioning that maybe he was going to get into the flapping game. Well, that's fine. Bill and I would like some competition, wouldn't we, Bill? All right, you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see ya.